Soundstripe.
Trying to get a lot of dough. Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone.
Soundstripe.
Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of goals. Stack that bread and vomit nose. Anything is possible. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Oh man, I got a lot of goals.
Welcome back to the XandO Sports Show. I'm your host, Ricky G. Stanley. And I hope all is well for everybody besides Cowboys fans today. This is Dallas week. Yes, we are rivals, and yes, we do take this serious. However, the topic today is not about the two franchises of the Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles. The Chicago Bears would be the challenge today. That is an organization that's known for winning in the past. The Chicago Bears, known for smash mouth defenses and running the pigskin. You know, they had Walter Payton. They had a lot of guys like Brian Urlacher. If you go back, you got a lot of guys there, and it's known for a rich culture. In the last 15 years, you got the Jake Cutlers of the world, the Mitch Trubisky's. It's not a rich culture after that. Like I said, they had some good guys that, the Devin Hesters of the world, and, made a couple Super Bowls and a lot of playoff appearances. So I found this video that someone sent to me. They inspired me to do this video. And I said, the first question that rises is Justin Fields really that bad? And per se, it's not really a yes or no question. Well, but let's go over the several falls he has. Like I said, he has several falls in this game. He's not that bad as we saw yesterday, though. Just breaking it down, like he loves to stare down his first read. So that means whoever, like if it's his X receiver and they're running a post route, he's going to look at them the entire time almost. But sometimes he hesitates to come off that primary read to go to a secondary or third. All of that can be, you can fix that if he's willing to do it. Like I said, and also he's a rookie, so we got to remember that he has to be developed correctly, because there's a lot of rookies that get thrown out in the fire. Some are okay, some are not. And yesterday was one of those days that he was not. As for arm strength, it's pretty good. Like I said, it's going to need some work, and I would probably, develop that more going into year 2. Now, his arm strength is not bad, but we have to remember that he's in Chicago, and he's going to be playing in the cold. You got to have a cannon to be able to throw the pigskin and those deep out routes and down the field and when it gets really cold. So like I said, he'll be fine in the warmer months, but I think he's going to have to develop it a little bit better going into year 2. The only reason why, like I said, I'm going to say that because it's so cold. And if you develop him correctly, yes, he could be a good quarterback. However, do not develop him as they did with Cam Newton. They just try to cover his flaws up until people found out, and then he got exposed. I really didn't like what I saw yesterday. I said, when you're going to call plays, treat him as a rookie. You're going to call plays to his strength. So if he throws in a certain part of the field very well, cool. But if he cannot get it to certain places on the field yet, cut those plays out. So the second question is, why did they play him yesterday? And I feel like Matt Naggy folded under pressure from the media, from the people over top of him. I just felt like he just crumbled under pressure. I said before, right when he was drafted, don't play him until the bye week or at least week 8. That gives him an opportunity to learn the playbook, understand what he's looking at. Also, 2, it gives him time to bring him along. And Andy Dalton is good enough to win you, a few games, especially in tough times. So it was really no rush. Like I said, he folded under pressure. And like I said, the owner and the GM, they would have got this message from me. Either you're going to let me do it the way I'm going to do it, or go ahead and buy me out of my contract. And that was the conversation we would have had. Because there's no way that you should go throw somebody out there that fast and they're not ready. And to be honest, I really feel like Matt Naggy was not ready for him either because of the play calling. So we're going to get to that as well. Like I said, the dumbest thing I ever seen Matt Naggy do since he's been a career as a coach was place him out there yesterday. First of all, you're going against the most elite defensive line in the AFC. Yes, they're that elite. And the fact that you have the Lions the following week that ain't won against nobody. And so, that was kind of dumb. Me personally, that D-line, like I said, is pretty good. Linebackers are pretty good. And they were going to fly around and hit people. And I just felt like Justin Fields shouldn't have been the one. Now, I know that the starting Andy Dalton is hurt. So this is what I would have did. Nick Foles would have been in yesterday, simply because Nick Foles has made his money off of good defenses. Now I'm gonna show you this. In one season with the Eagles, in order to get into the playoffs, he had to play against the Texans. They had a very good D-line at the time. He had to play against the Rams and the Bears. And if I'm not mistaken, when I checked it, he got sacked, I think, either 2 times or less against all 3 of those teams, all 3 games, 2 altogether. Now, those at the time, you still had Khalil Mack, you had J.J. Watt. Like I said, you had don't forget about the Rams. Very good D-line. But like I said, he understands what he sees, and Justin Fields does not yet. And I was saying I would just let Nick play yesterday if my starter couldn't go. Nick is not like a scrub, so he would have took those plays yesterday if the game would have got out of hand, and I would probably gave Justin Fields some snaps at the end, bring him on, not throw him into the Lions den. Like I said, but Matt Naggy folded under pressure. But this is me. If I'm calling it for Justin Fields, we're going to do some downhill run plays right on the center. It is not going to be cute. It's going to be downhill runs, because teams that are aggressive like that, sometimes you go downhill at them. That's the best way to run at them. And sometimes they overrun those run plays. I said we would have had some misdirection as well. As for passing plays, we would have did play action off those downhill runs. It would have been a very short set, quick pop, get the linebackers to come in and throw it over their head. It wouldn't have been no 5 to 7 step drops. Not with those guys licking their chops. Absolutely not. We would have treated him as a young quarterback. If we would have spread it out, every single play would have had motion. You know what that does? It gives you an indication if they're in zone or they're in man. Also give you an indication of where your best matchup is. Just cut the field in half for him. Like, hey, okay, we're going to go this way. What is your best matchup? If we send a running back out, then that linebacker goes with him. Oh, we already know that's man coverage. And however, if that corner bounces out, we're going to know there's some type of zone. But they didn't do any of that to help him at all. And some people felt like it was a setup. I mean, setup for who? He has a 4-year deal as a rookie. Matt Naggy set himself up. Like I said, it was terrible to watch. But there would have been no zone reads. Not with those defensive linemen. They can stand in between and act like they're gonna stop the dive and still get him coming off. They're that fast. You got Clowney running 4.4, and you got that man child on the other side. He runs 4.5. They're athletic enough to slow that down. So I wasn't calling it either. Only time I would have called a QB run is if it would have been faking the dive. I would have brought the guard back around. He's gonna seal that defensive end, and he's gonna have a 2-way go to cut it inside or do his thing. Ain't no way nobody's getting no naked kill shot of him. The fact that they gave up 9 sacks yesterday was pretty despicable. It was funny after the first 2 because it was kind of like welcome to the league. But then it was like he was taking, shot after shot. And I'm looking like this is getting out of hand. Like I said, I always love for, those rookies that feel like, they're a little arrogant to be, I get a little bit welcome to the league, get a little love tap. But after the 5th sack, I'm looking like, okay, this is getting out of hand. And once he would have got sacked the 3rd time, I would have screamed them to death. Oh, they were like, oh, well, he's not making a lot of yards off of it. That defensive line would have been given out, though. I would have screened them right. I would have screened them left. I would have ran dive. I would have went play action. I would have moved the pocket. It would have been sprint right smash. It would have been sprint right snag, left and right. I would have wore them out to the point that they had to call a timeout. You can do that against good defensive linemen. You have to know what you're doing. Like I said, you have to have guys in place to know how to call certain plays for certain type of quarterbacks. And Matt Nagy has had a mobile quarterback before, and I was very disappointed in that scheme. Like they were throwing like all curl routes as if like he can't throw the ball down the field. Like he threw 20 times and had 65 passing yards. That's preseason numbers. No, he can throw the ball better than that. And like I said, if you couldn't get a whole lot of out routes, a couple of times when they go man blitz, hey, call for a vert. Somebody's going to get open. Lay it out there. You make their defensive backs have to turn and run. Like I said, Matt Nagy was very disappointed. And the other question on that Twitter post was, should he be fired now? My answer is no. It should not, because he still have time to turn this season around. With the strength of schedule, it's not looking good for him. However, if he does make it to the playoffs at this strength of schedule, evaluate him at the end of the year. And if his evaluation is not good, then let him go then. and you know it looks a little bit better for your organization going to the long run. But if you fire him now, it just looked like you panicked and you're rebooting. So like I said, Matt Naggy, no, he should not get fired right now, you know. But that's just my personal opinion. But be sure to share this with Matt Naggy if he's on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm your host, Ricky G. Stanley, and I am out of here.
Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of gold. Stack that bread and vomit nose. Anything is possible. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Hey. Oh man, I